So typically, a person they'll get rid of credit cards, right? Because your credit cards are basically uncollateralized. So you might have purchased a TV or a bedroom set or whatever on a credit card, but technically they're not coming to get it, right? They're not coming to get that from you. They're not going to come repossess that stuff from you. So your credit cards is something that people just really just go ahead and get rid of. You got collections. The people go ahead and get rid of those collections, right? You're going to get rid of all those collections. No need you holding on to any of that stuff, right? But you restructure your debt. So if you do owe that home and, you still owe money on that home, then you continue to pay for your home so you don't lose your home. You can do the same thing with a vehicle. Those things are collateralized. And you own that vehicle, you can decide to let that vehicle go, or you can decide to keep the vehicle, keep making your payments on the vehicle. So they restructure your debt. Of course, you've got to prove things, income, and, if you can handle it, you can't really handle the payment, things of that nature. But that's what happens with a Chapter 13. You restructure your debt. So for you, restructuring your debt and not just, doing like a Chapter 7 and getting rid of everything, they give you a little break. And so that only stays on your credit report for 7 years, just like any collection would, any late payment would and whatnot. It stays on your credit report for 7 years when it comes to a Chapter 13. So when you're doing this, you can recover from both. You can recover from both kinds of bankruptcies, all right? It is not as difficult as it used to be to recover from a bankruptcy. What's going to happen to your credit score? It's going to fall, of course. It's going to fall. It's going to fall 150 points. It's going to fall 180 points, 200 points. It's absolutely going to fall. So you need to know that as well. But you can rebuild from these things. Like I said, the Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years. The Chapter 13 for 7 years. Just like anything else that would be a bad debt. You can reestablish your credit once your bankruptcy is discharged, is what they call it. Once it's over, once it's done, once that happens, you can start to reestablish credit in probably technically in 3 months. I usually say wait 4 or 5 months and you can start reestablishing your credit after it's discharged, all right? So there are some things that you can do to rebuild your credit. Will you pay higher interest rates? Of course you will. You just filed bankruptcy. Of course you're going to pay higher interest rates, but you're basically starting over. So having no credit is just as bad as having bad credit, right? So you can start over in that. So 4 or 5 months after that, you can start. I can help you with that as well. So you contact me, 800@creditscoreman.com or 312-600-5855. Send me a text if you want to. You can text that number as well. So yes, you can start over, reestablish credit 4 to 5 months once you're done with your bankruptcy. Some other things you need to know. You cannot buy a home for about 4 years in most instances. You might find somebody out there, some way that you can buy a home prior to these 4 years, but once you file bankruptcy, you got to wait at least 4 years. And you can't file again for 8 years. So don't go out there, file bankruptcy as a business plan, as a personal motto. Go get a bunch of stuff, file bankruptcy, and think you're going to do it again in the next 4 or 5 years once you've accumulate a bunch more stuff. It's going to be 8 years before you can file again. And always consult an attorney. Not online, not on the internet. Call somebody, go sit in somebody's office, give them your full financial picture so they know what's going on with you, and you decide if you want to file bankruptcy. I think I mentioned before, I've probably only recommended bankruptcy for any of my clients 6 or 7 times. Maybe 6 or 7 times. I don't even think it's that many, but maybe 6 or 7 times. But I've had to do so twice in the last month or so for some individuals, not even clients, that, came to me to look at, repairing and restoring their credit. And it was just really too much for them to handle. Just way too much for them to handle. So I thought that the best recommendation for them was for them to possibly file bankruptcy. And then when you're done, come back and see me and help you reestablish some credit in there, right? So look, thank you guys for coming in, listening to the 800 Credit Score Man show. I truly, truly appreciate it. Contact me, you guys. Contact me. If you have shout outs. So I shout out people that I know and relatives and all that stuff. But you've got shout outs that you want going on. You got a birthday, your spouse's birthday, your kid's birthday, or whatever. You let me know. I will shout them out on the show. So you can contact me at any of those places as well. You've got anniversaries coming up. Let me know. You have reached the 700 club in your credit score. You let me know. Send me a screenshot, 800@creditscoreman.com. Like I said, you can text that number, 312-600-5855. Send me a screenshot. Let me know how well you're doing out there when it comes to your credit. And if you got questions, always contact me if you have questions. Before you go doing something, contact me. Let's look at your strategies. Let's look at what you want to do, all right? So, again, thank you guys for coming in and listening to the 800 Credit Score Man Show. Come back next week. Come back next week and listen to the show. I will talk to you. Hey, next week, I'm speaking. I'm speaking again next week. I'm speaking on September the 14th. I'll be in Chicago, Illinois on the 14th. Follow me on my social media platforms so you can see exactly where it is. I'll shoot out the flyer so everybody knows where I'll be, and you can come check me out. I'll be speaking in the afternoon part of this particular program. So I'll be in the afternoon, probably after 1 o'clock. All right. So you guys come check me out in Chicago, Illinois, again next week on September the 14th. And follow me on Instagram, 800 Credit Score Man. Join my group, Credit Score Comeback on Facebook. Join that group. It'll definitely be posted in that group. You guys come check it out. All right. Thank you guys again for coming in and listening to the show. I will talk to you next week. You know how I got to do before I get out of here. Kobe, Cameron, and Carter, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm out.